Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast, and today we're going to be talking about the finale of Wake the Dead. So, before I start talking about it, I will talk about what happened throughout the chapter, but first, Wake the Dead. I have said it before, you guys have said it, and it's just not that we have talked about it, but a lot of people have been really vocal about Wake the Dead. Like, it is amazing the amount of screenshot people have posted, be it in terms of love interest or the scenes, the creepiness, the horror, the drama, the flair for, creepy zombies and new awesome potential this book had. It was just insane. But when I was reading through the finale, I felt like, to be honest, it was underwhelming because I was looking forward to a finale. Sort of when I was preparing for Wake the Dead finale to read it, I was thinking of what happened in It Lives finale. What happened in, you say, Nightbound finale, like something big going down. Like there's more to it, but it was lackluster, to be honest. Like, as I explain what happened, it would be more clear. But to be honest, I was disappointed. Even the amount, even if you don't have the bonus scene, only the bonus scene, to be honest, made sense. And if you didn't play the bonus scene, you want to know what happened. So right at the end, I talk about it. I can't give you a timestamp at the moment because I don't know when it's gonna be. But right toward the end, I'll be talking about the bonus scene, which I think was the most important part of this chapter. But other than that, it was really underwhelming finale. Alright, let's get started. We've already wasted 2 minutes. So we start off, we are under our lodge. So the zombies have dug a hive under the place, under our, so it from the city of Reno to under our colony. It extends from there to here. So we are now trapped here, and we see also now this chapter is in more than one way is dependent on how you made your previous choices. So I chose to spare Dirk's life, so Dirk will also be stuck underground with us, and we will see Angel, Shannon, Troy, and Ellie. They'll be all upward, up in the colony room, and they will try to help us, and they will say, like, Angel will tell us if they want to drop a rope and protect us, but we will say they don't need to care about us, but they need to keep the people who are stuck there protected, because a lot of people dropped, and some people got just smothered there, but also some people survived, and Dirk and our main character are the ones who are still safe. And then we see that horde of zombies are approaching, and all the jello-like thingy there. But also Shannon gives us an injection that, remember, we collected something from the Queen Zombie's hive, so this injection really helped to, get through the Queen Zombie. Maybe we can bring our sister Brian back to life. So Dirk and our main character, after bidding goodbye to our friends and all of love interest and asking them to keep everyone safe, we start to go deeper into the tunnel, into this underground tunnel, as I should say, because we are finding a way out. And we see all those shadow-like thingy that we saw back at the city of Reno, remember? And new zombies are being born, so we fight some zombie off. Our weapons that we have, the crossbow and other weapons that we collected, so we will get help from that. And we'll also see that Dirk will be fighting side by side with us, and then we will hear the shriek, the inhuman shriek, and we'll see Brian as a queen zombie will come there. So we will try to get to Brian. If you've collected the compass and all the things, you will show Brian, but she won't. She will be like, at one point she will feel, it will feel like she's breaking the trance, but again she will be back to attacking us, and she will try to come after us again and again, and then we will try to defend her off, and we will get to choose some options in terms of like what to say to jog off her memory so that she can remember us. And then we'll see that Dirk will leap in front of us, and he will get between Brian and our main character, And Dirk was shocked at first because we did tell him that Brian is still alive, but he didn't, I think, fully believed it. Fully believe it. But now he sees it too, and he tries to remind Brian of who he is and how Brian and Dirk wanted to protect our main character, and then in the process, Dirk sacrifices himself to protect us, and then Brian goes after us. We run after any opening, any lights, but we see that we get cornered. So we get to a place where the light was coming from the rooftop, but it was so high so we can't climb. There's literally nothing. So we see Brian coming from one end and the Queen coming from one end, and we're almost cornered. And Brian is about to attack us, and then we can in this dimension tell Brian a story about the first day we went to Brian after turning 18, about how we were excited to join this go outside some program, but then Brian told us that we can't do that. We'll have to do pest controlling, and then we can join the scouts, because she wanted to keep us protected. And we relay this to Brian and tell her that then at that time when we were 18, we didn't understand Brian's perspective. We were mad, but now we understand, because Brian was afraid to lose us, and now we feel that too, because we have already lost Brian once. Then we see that we still had the injection. At first we tried to stab Brian with the injection, but we failed. But this time we do manage to stab her with the injection, and something happened. And then we see, after the story you tell and after you use the injection, that Brian is finally back, even though her body is still that horror queen zombie reflection she still has on the outside. From the inside, she's our Brian. And then we see that the Queen tries to again control her, but she's not getting controlled by her. And then we see that she stabs with injection the Queen in the eye, and then she holds the main Queen zombie, and we try to attack her. We stab her with our X, and we really try to do some damage, but we see the Queen is getting stronger. And then finally, after a long fight, Brian tells us that she's gonna hold off the Queen and we should run away. We run away to save our people. We didn't want to run away, but then as Brian said, like, we are the one who are responsible for our colony. We're the leader. So if something happened to us, we die here, then it would be really bad. So we run, but then after running some distance, we realize something comes back to us. That first time when Brian was alive, we had to leave her behind. The whole scene plays in front of in our mind, and we think that then we didn't have a choice. We left Brian behind, but now we have a choice. We have to go inside, and we have to go back. We have to save Brian. Then we go back and we see Brian has managed to control the Queen, but the Queen literally rips her hand inside Brian's chest cavity and then rips something off of Brian. But then Brian also, manages to rip one arm of the Queen. And before we already damaged Queen, if you used your weapons and if you have all the scores, you can literally chop, the Queen's one arm off. But then you see Brian killing off the Queen, but in the process, Brian is also heavily injured because there is a cavity inside her chest, so she's also not going to survive. And then you see that the real Queen, is destroyed, and Brian is also hurt. And then we hold Brian before she falls, and then we try to talk to her. So we see that Brian is happy to see us protected, to us safe, and that Brian has, sort of kept her promise to herself, probably, that she, at any cost, she tried to keep us protected. So that happened. So Brian was happy for that, I guess. And then her body gets cold, and as usual, we get sad. And then we find a clearing. We come outside and we see all the zombies are scattered. They're scattering to find easier prey, because with the Queen dead, there's no one to control them. So it's gone. Literally, problem, danger averted, basically. And we see that all the love interests are walking toward us, and we set our sister Brian's body down, and it was a really emotional scene. And all the love interests ask us what happened, and we literally break down and we tell them. And then that scene plays out there. And then after one day, we see we have dug up a grave, you can say, a spot in the ground, and we bury our sister Brian's body, and then we cover it up with the with the soil that we dug up. And then we sort of say some things to Brian, and we will also get this dimension to drink in honor of Brian and spend some time with our love interest, and we will commemorate Brian's death. And as I don't know which love interest said that, I think Angel or Troy, one of them, because they said that let's celebrate Brian's life by drinking. So we will have a drink, and to Brian, we will sort of toast it to Brian, and we will talk about it a little bit, and then we'll take a walk. We'll play a game also, a drinking game that Troy will suggest that what we're looking forward to in past or future the most. So we'll have to tell about one, either the past or the future. So that was the game. And then we take a walk in front of a river, and then we can go for dipping, and we can spend separate times with all of our love interests individually. You can have a little kissing scene, like just like in chapter 10, but we can have a heart to heart with them one final time. And then we'll also get to spend some time, like have fun with them, and we'll see Ellie and Troy bickering for one last time in a good way, the good old fun. Then we'll have to walk back to our future, what it holds for us, and then all the love interests, and they will live. We will live, so there's no death there, but our sister is dead. Then, after our love interest will walk away, we will go to the grave, and one last time we'll kneel down in front of Brian. We'll say some word, and finally we will bid adieu to Brian, and that was an emotional moment, and then walk away. And that's where it ends. But you'll also have a bonus scene if you have collected all the items. And this scene goes back several years when our main character was a little kid, and also so was Brian. And we were in the city of Reno, and we were hiding from a zombie after our dads died. So one of our dad, so who we call our dad, so I think Papa, who we called Papa, he turned into a zombie, and then the infected one attacks another one. So that happened, and both of them died, and then Brian was keeping us safe. So a zombie attacks us, and then we hide behind a car. Zombie sniffs, but then we think that it has gotten away. But then the zombie tries to attack us, basically snapping the its fingers really close to our main character's face, and we see it from Brian's perspective. So that was really interesting. And then Brian grabs a glass shard of the footpath, and then tries to defend our main character, her brother, and then the zombie gets shot, and we see a woman standing there with a gun, and then she raises her hands in a protective way to send the message, that it's safe, she's not going to harm us. And then she takes us and sort of talks with us, and she learns that Brian is keeping us safe. And so we sort of see Brian she was asking that what happened to our parents, and our main character didn't know they were dead, but Brian did. So she grew up a little fast, you can say that. So she said and they were gone. The signal did, and the woman understood it. I can't remember her name, Cassidy or Catherine something, but then she took us, and then our main character, he was literally, they were literally, shocked. So she will offer a candy, and then she will even lift our main character, so because we could no longer walk as a kid. And then Brian and our main character will go with her to their new colony. So they came to patrol, Tar people went out for patrolling, and so they were not Tar people, they were just leaving the town. And so they came for some medicine and all the other supplies they could grab from here. So to grab the supplies from here, they came here, and they found us. The woman found us, and we see some other people who are also in the van. And then the woman tells Brian that Brian, she says that Brian kept our main character protected, but from now on she will look after us. And then we see, when we get inside the van, and as soon as the van starts, zombies attacking again. And unfortunately, that woman who saved us, and she gets dragged on by the zombies, and we see the zombies attack the van, and only they got that woman. So our main character and brother are safe, and I assume that our main character and brother were taken from there by these people to some place, and from there we went to the tower, because they were looking for some safe place. So maybe it could happen that they went to the tower, and so did we with them. probably that happened. We went to the dark somehow. But here's the thing: the description, when the woman who took us to this group, who took us in when we were in danger, who literally saved our lives, she was being taken away by the zombies in the city of Reno, inside a cavity on the street. And weirdly, the description says, as our main character's sister Brian saw, that she was dragged in by the zombies. So the zombies were not attacking her with the claws or anything or eating her, but she was just being dragged inside the cavity. So I personally think that she is the real queen. So that's why she chose Brian, because they had sort of a, I don't know, relationship, because she tried to protect Brian, and she said she would look after her, and then she also knew our name, the main character's name. So that's the story of how the real queen was born, I think. Now, how that happened, we don't know. So that was the bonus scene, which I think was the most significant part of the last finale chapter. Otherwise, it was a lackluster finale, to be honest. I was really disappointed. I know a lot of people were disappointed a couple of weeks ago, if not a month ago, when they said that Wake the Dead won't be getting a book two. But well, I'm upset that it's not getting a book two. But you know what I'm upset about more? I'm upset about more is that it's not even a good book one. Like, up until chapter 14, 15, up until hiatus, it was really good. It built up, but then they just rushed it off like foreign affairs. So much potential, wasted potential in Marcus Blackstock, not a good villain. How the queen was really born instead of this little scene. It feels like, to me, the Nightbound all over again. Like, it had so much potential, but it got destroyed. I mean, yeah, that's it. Well, I think it's pretty upsetting that it didn't get a book two. Maybe it didn't have much smut scenes and all the love interest. We didn't even get to lock the love interest. So this is pretty shocking thing. So that's it. Wake the Dead feels like the end of an era, even though it's just been 5 months or something. If I remember correctly, 30th December was when this book got released, if not 31st of December. No, 30th December. So yeah, so this is it, the end. I will miss on every Thursday reading Wake the Dead. No matter what, it gave me a lot of inspiration, in terms of how to be strong, how to look after your people, how to be a good leader, how to be a good fighter, how to keep your chin up, and no matter what happens, you make some choices, and you live up with the consequences, like it or lump, and you don't get to think over it, because there's no time to think about your previous steps. Just learn from it and move on. A lot of good lessons. The strong, one of the most fearsome, one of the strongest, one of the bravest main character we have seen in this book. He has given us one of the greatest love interest and choices after Blades. Their chemistry, it was like Blades in a lot of ways, but again, it was rushed off, and even as a book one, even with 20 chapters, it feels like it could have been 25 chapters. Maybe there could have been a lot of drama. But it is what it is. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and opinions about Wake the Dead finale, and I will make a video about what went wrong, what went right with Wake the Dead, because it feels like it could have been more. It could have been the best book and choices, but it feels like after a certain point, it got off the rail. The finale was not what I was expecting. Let me know if it was what you were expecting. And it still says, it gives you, all the dots, like, how many points you have. And then it says some days till 364 days till solstice or something. It is really interesting. Why would they say that? It's not getting a book two, but it would have been super awesome if we had a book two, because by far it feels like a lot of questions are there than answers. Peace out.